We thought that Disney might be slowing down their layoffs, but after a round of 300, it seems that we've got 75 more people in an ABC News division and ABC Channels division that will be let go. We're also seeing news of even more layoffs coming down the pike. Let's talk about Disney's new restructuring plans here on That Park Place. As we focus for just a moment on this one right here, the Disney company at 9357, and also the fact that they have been downgraded. There's a dirty secret in Fortune 500 companies that many people don't know the first day that they start, and they hear about layoffs and they think, "Oh man, it's really rough that we got here." There are some companies that I've worked for that have been on like a 3 or 4 year cycle of hiring up and slowing down. They'll talk about things like rings of defense, and then the stock price starts to move they don't realize that it's correlated to this. The workers don't realize it's correlated to this, but the stock price starts to move in the wrong direction, and they will announce layoffs. The downgrading of the stock also happens to correspond with another round of layoffs, and I believe this is separate from the 300 we talked about the other day. ABC News and stations job cuts impact 75 employees. Wow, that is a very awkwardly phrased headlines right there. Here's another one from the Hollywood Reporter. Layoffs hit ABC News as Disney restructures. Some 75 employees will be cut at ABC News and ABC Local Stations Group, otherwise known as the affiliates, which Disney has not let go of those there. Even though ABC News is now a Disney Plus always on channel. I don't understand. I thought everybody was watching him there. ABC News and the ABC Stations Group were impacted by layoffs Wednesday, part of an ongoing round of restructuring at Disney. 75 staffers at those will be let go. Hollywood Reporter has learned, split about evenly between the national news organization and the station group. No programming will be impacted and no entire teams will be eliminated. But the company is making the changes to be sustainable, efficient, and future forward, per someone familiar with the decision. ABC News president and ABC stations chiefs announced the restructuring in memos on Wednesday. This is not the only restructuring that is going on at the same time. And they've been going through cuts across the company in the recent weeks. This is also correlating to the ending of ABC Studios, which currently is known as ABC Signature. They are folding ABC Studios into 20th Century Television under Carrie Burke. Hulu and ABC scripted teams are combining together under Simran Sethi in a major reorg, also resulting in layoffs. I believe this was more of the 300 that we were talking about before. If you don't know that face right there, if she looks familiar, no, that's not Dana Walden. That's Carrie Burke. And where do we know Carrie Burke from, guys?
Reimagine Tomorrow. She was somebody who hit the magical lottery and had two very differently traded children, which is statistically impossible unless you have a Munchausen's kind of style thing going on in your household.
Yeah, she appeared in that video and is part of the same, the one that talks about the not so secret agenda that Christopher Rufo leaked that one out into the world. She wasn't the one who said not so secret agenda. She was part of the leak, and she talked about how much they were pushing for this stuff and how her own children were part of the LGBT community. I'm going to say this is probably she dyes her hair blonde. I think she's of the age that she has adult children. I'm hoping they were adult children before whatever this happened, because that paints a different pallor on what's going on here. Not that I would hope that fate on anybody. In a consolidation move, 6 years in the making, ABC Signature is no more. The production unit is being shut down with its operations folded into 20th Television under 20th TV president Carrie Burke. It's so funny. They're avoiding the word Fox here, and it's silly. Additionally, the ABC and Hulu Originals scripted drama and comedy teams are being combined under ABC Freeform EVP Simran Sethi. I would say that Freeform vestigial arm right there is probably going to go away eventually. Oh, yeah. Who has been elevated to president, scripted programming, Hulu Originals at ABC Entertainment. Leaving their positions as part of the restructuring is Tracy Underwood, who is stepping down as president of ABC Signature and segueing into an overall producing deal with Disney Television Studios. Eric Winenberg will be ABC's head of comedy. I hope he's a funny fellow. there's a lot of extra information here about what's going on, but what's bearing the headline here, this is the studio that is in charge of all the things that are making Disney money right now on Hulu. We don't even necessarily need to read the article. See, Golden Girls, which I think the statistics were, if you watched the first 2 episodes of Golden Girls when they dropped the entire series on Hulu, that 60% or something like that went through and watched the entire series. And we're not talking like Rings of Power, where 30% of people watched if you started it, you were 30% likely to watch the entire series, which was only like, 8-10 episodes. I still haven't watched Rings of Power. And by the way, my condolences to anyone who had faith in that show until last night's big episode. I read the spoilers. I'm not planning on watching. Or Lost, which I do believe is doing well on Netflix, or Grey's Anatomy, all of this stuff that actually makes money for them. Home Improvement, Ellen, Boy Meets World, Blossom, which I don't know how much money Blossom is still making them. But these are all of the things that actually make money on Hulu. That's the entire point of what I'm saying here. And this is all being folded into Fox. I have a theory on why it's 20th century television or 20th television that is the surviving entity here, as opposed to ABC. Anyone want to venture a guess?
Well, I mean, so far Fox's culture hasn't changed all that much, which is good for Disney. It's not to mention the fact that this gives them an ability to sell programs that they used to make to other entities, as you pointed out, such as Netflix and so on and so forth. So, I mean, there is money being made in a certain area because, the people are being thoughtful about the catalog.
I think you're probably right. I think about the fact that, like, Bob Iger right now, he's not really a Disney guy, despite being the Disney guy. He is a fellow that he came from a different company. He didn't start his career at Disney. I think technically he did, because Disney bought the place that
Capital Cities. Yeah,
that's right.
Capital
He was an ABC guy and then a Capital Cities guy, and Capital Cities also owned ESPN. And when Bob Iger came into Disney, he did some good things, which is he bought someone who was capable of running the Disney part of the company, that being John Lasseter, and then had the finance people take care of the rest. I don't want to overstate it with John Lasseter. He was chief creative officer of the company. So it was important that he continue to run with excellence all of the things that make Disney what it was. And now I think the shine has come off on that Disney brand. He no longer needs to prove that he's built anything with Disney. So he's very focused on ABC News and also on ESPN. I say that because I'm looking back at this article from 2019. Guess who came up from Fox, if anyone out there does not realize? Dana Walden, who just might be the next CEO of the Walt Disney Company. There's a question every day about whether or not it's going to be Josh D'Amaro or Dana Walden. Still could be other people, but Dana Walden is the front runner. Dana Walden came from Fox, and I don't think that she would take kindly to Fox being folded in, even though they're losing that Fox branding. I don't think she would take kindly to the division that she made being folded into the quote unquote lesser studio here. So I think this is being saved because of Dana Walden, as opposed to the other way around.
Signature and the stuff that was coming from that side of the equation was very wholesome for a period of time, and then it wasn't. Just saying.
Yeah. So now that that television division is going to be under this lady, who, when I first saw it, I thought it was a bad angle on Dana Walden. It's not. Vash, could you play a little bit of this, just so we get an idea? We're just going to make sure everybody knows what's going on, then we'll move on to how this is going to impact another part of the company, because this is forecasting more layoffs down the road.
Oh yeah,
You got it.
I'm here as a mother of 2 queer children, actually, one transgender child and one pansexual child, and also as a leader. And that was the thing that really got me, because I have heard so much from so many of my colleagues over the course of the last couple of weeks, in open forums and through emails and phone conversations. And I feel a responsibility to speak not just for
Oh,
myself, but
gosh.
for them, to all of us. We had an open forum last week at 20th where, again, the home of really incredible, groundbreaking LGBTQIA stories over the years, where one of our execs stood up and said, we only have a handful of queer leads in our content. And I went, what? That can't be true. And I realized, oh, it actually is true. We have many, many, many LGBTQIA characters in our stories, and yet we don't have enough leads. That's been very eye-opening for me.
Yeah. She talks about straight up percentages at a certain point, which is quite fascinating to hear from an executive like that, and how they're going to have, I believe, minimums on freeform, at least at this time period. Now, who knows what the fate of freeform will eventually be. But that was what she was pushing there. I think this is around the time of the parental rights and education bill, right? Culture, or do I have my dates wrong?
No, you're very spot on. I think we got the Reimagine Tomorrow very conveniently placed and broken about the same time, where we were already struggling with, the fact that this created name that was nothing to do with this education bill, this don't say gay baloney sausage was out there in the world. And I think we have to say thank you to Mr. Rufo for exposing just how ingrained this had already become to the Disney company, and it's way worse now. The poison is so deep in the ears of everybody there. Just like in media right now, you have less than 3% in mainstream media that are conservative in any way. Disney's probably even less as far as the people who reside within that company. And they get rid of them quickly when they've been outed.
Oh, it's very distressing to hear and see what is actually going on within the Walt Disney Company. I think the assessment, though, is correct that 20th Century Fox, or at least a 20th Century division within the company, has been maybe a little bit more insulated to some of these things, which is maybe why they've been able to maintain quality culture. Has that been your experience when it comes to the 20th century?
I wonder if it's actually the opposite. I wonder if the 20th century TV people, which 20th television was more successful than ABC television. They're beating ABC in the ratings. Sure, yeah. And so when Peter Rice comes in and Dana Walden comes in, I wouldn't be surprised if they were given the mandate as opposed to the ABC Studios people. And they just said, well, which one is better? So we'll do that. So I wonder if this was maybe even Bob Iger's, because Bob Iger really hates when people say Walt would never do that. I think that's been the most annoying thing to him. And I've never been in the room with the fellow, but we do know that based off of almost every conversation we've ever had with anyone who has interacted with him, he hates being told that we are Disney and we don't do that. So when the Fox people come in and they're more Hollywood types, they're more connected out in Hollywood. I wonder if he prioritized their culture over the Disney culture because he was annoyed by it. Because again, I don't think he likes Disney very much. I did indicate here that this is forecasting more layoffs, and I do think that it is. Oh, look at that! There's Dana Walden. What is that? Disneyland Paris, right there. Or is that just Disney?
Yes, Disneyland Paris. You can actually see Josh tomorrow there. You can see Dana Walden right in the rear there, coming up right about here. There you go.
There she is.
That was about back in November of 2022. By the way, so this started out early.
The company,
sorry, go ahead there,
the company is so headed in the wrong direction. You think Bob has been destroying the company? Dana will kill it faster. You will destroy this company so quickly. She is again, I speak of the poison being poured in the employees' ears. This is going to basically distribute it like dip in a great animated feature. It will eliminate the company very quickly. It will dissolve all efforts made previous.
Oh, I made some indication that this was pointing towards more layoffs, and there are more layoffs coming. Disney is reportedly nearing goal to automate 75% of ad business by 2027. Ad tech stocks slide. Slide is usually what they say when they go.
When it's disastrous, yes.
Yeah. So the ad sales division probably going to be going down sometime soon here. Hopefully that AI stuff works out for them if they're going to be doing it that way. I wonder if they'll just allow anyone to buy for their platform at this point. So the layoffs are not ending for the Walt Disney Company at this point. And all we have to say to Bob is thank you for being a friend. You thought I knew you. Anyways, sorry, I had to make the joke.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media account.